still can't believe we got Evan Dorkin to do a whole intro for
And he made my character look just like me. It's mwah.
very accurate. Are we part of SAG now? What's going on? Oh no, animation is a separate thing.
No, yeah, true, but aren't they? Didn't they just announce they're also attempting to organize? I thought I read that somewhere.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I posted.
That's where I read it.
I was going to say the news story.
Sorry, Danny. I totally derailed your.
No, I love it because you had a good segue, and then we took it away immediately.
Yeah, Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network production workers launched an attempt to unionize.
There you go.
Good.
Workers rise up.
Yes.
So that's going to be our. So we have a full show today. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, including all the stuff we've been watching and reading. But as you may have seen last week, we definitely are in support of the writer strike, the SAG strike. So we don't want to. We've been kind of hesitant about what kind of content to do because there was not a lot of clarity on what counts as. Even though none of us are in the union or probably have any aspirations or anything, we still support their effort. So we don't want to do anything that would undercut what they're trying to achieve, right? So luckily yesterday, I mean, we've got some information, but I think this is the best way to kind of talk about what we'll be covering. We take a lot of inspiration from Kevin Smith and his empire. And they addressed the issue yesterday. So I think we're just going to kind of follow suit. I think, especially because they're both in each of the guilds, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good. It's a good place to start as to where to see. So I'm going to play a little clip where they talk about that a little bit, and then we'll have a small conversation about our coverage going forward. And then we'll get into the show proper. So.
Out of the way, let's do pleasure, man. What can we talk about at Comic-Con? First off, let's acknowledge the fact that there's a strike going on. You're striking for the Writers Guild.
I'm a member of the Writers Guild of America.
I'm striking for, yes. And you've been striking, and I've been striking with you as a Writers Guild member for what? Oh, close to 80 days at this point.
Over 80 days, some 12, maybe 13 weeks. I don't know how math works. But coming to Comic-Con, and especially for the actors, it's been about what can we promote, what can we talk about.
Because SAG joined the fucking fight.
They did.
Last time we did a show, had they joined yet, or they were on the verge?
They were on the verge of it, and so since then, the 160,000 member strong Screen Actors Guild also went on strike for many of the same reasons: for protections against AI, for increased transparency of residuals and streaming numbers, and just like basic human decency. And so that's why we're all on strike. And there are rules of what we can talk about. Comic-Con was a little bit fraught with: can you promote things? Can you even appear? Can you do panels? Can we be journalists? Can we be quote-unquote influencers? We've never influenced anybody to do anything ever.
Right.
But whatever. And
except eatemeats.com.
Yes. Yes.
Not a sponsor of this show.
Man, we need sponsors.
You get your dick hard, your balls clean. And so a lot of it is, what's the spirit of the strike? Why are we striking? What will help the cause? And a lot of it is like not shouting out, not promoting the work from people who have not kind of respected us as sort of collaborators.
We had a conversation this week, a text conversation, where Mark was like, we can't talk about
movies or
TV shows because of the SAG strike, because of the Writers Guild strike. But then you got a follow-up thing that said,
yeah, saying that, like, we're not, according to SAG, we're not prohibiting journalists from doing their job. And I'm like, well, I've never turned in my press card. It's still in my fancy hat.
I don't know if we ever got one, but
and so, like, I am still a journalist, which means I can still talk about movies I've seen and shows that I've liked. And I mean, less trailers, because that is just straight up promotional, so we won't be covering.
right.
So that's the big thing for our
but we
channel,
can
I
still
think.
do a show.
Yeah.
And we can still talk about why we like the things we like, or in some cases, why we don't.
All right. So that's the big part of it, and that's kind of what I wanted us to see. So, so what that means for the channel, and I think, is that we'll continue to review movies. I think we can still talk about some of the stuff we've been watching, and I know we don't have anything for today, and I think that's fine. But if there's anything that really caught our attention, or something like that without giving too much promotion. The thing that's really impactful to the channel is that we're not going to be doing any trailer review reactions for the struck companies, right? For any of their media, which is most media out there. Like I there's a number of trailers that I wanted to. I haven't even seen the trailers that came out this week. Just out of like like whatever, it doesn't matter.
Now that is dedication.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you don't have to do a
Even
video
if-
about it, like I'm not rushing to it. I do like to be surprised by movies and stuff. So like but because of what we do on the channel, like I just kind of look at a lot of trailers. So so that's the main update. We'll have movie reviews as well. We'll come back with movie reviews because that's just really a review of the movie as they were talking about in the clip. And then, like I said, for the live shows, we'll probably still talk a little bit about stuff we've been watching and enjoying without trying to give too much promotion to all these studios, which our show a lot focuses on comics anyway, so it's not that big of an ask. But this week when I was trying to prepare the notes, I was like, I don't know what to talk about. So
I did have one thing I watched that I added and then removed because I knew we were gonna discuss this, so we can play it by ear.
Yeah. So if you guys, now that we've talked, and also for a little inside baseball, us three didn't discuss this part. This is all new to everyone right now. We're playing it on the fly. So if you guys need to change anything from today's notes, or if there's anything you'd really want to mention, then I think that's fine. But like I said, the main thing is trailer reactions are not going to be on the channel until stuff is settled, and we'll come back with movie reviews because I have seen some movies. The two biggest movies of the week, I have seen them. So we'll put out videos for that. But if you need to go to the movies, I encourage you because there's a lot of good movies out there, not just from these studios. All right.
Sorry, I was trying to.
I
see
thought Clay was going to say something. I thought he was winding up.
Well, I'm just looking at the shows that I watch, and like even just talking about them, and may not necessarily be good or a promotion of that show.
Yeah.
I don't think Secret Invasion, even though I know Disney is one of the struck studios, is worth the money that they've put out for it. So it's kind of, to me, an interesting topic because they discovered that the streaming platform is built on twigs. I mean, basically, they're hoping to continue subscriptions, and then it's like ad infinitum, because they're paying over $200 million for a series like Secret Invasion that really isn't. I mean, there isn't a payoff. I mean, it's just not interesting or exciting.
You know what's funny?
And it's getting low numbers.
Funny about Secret Invasion, and I see that Kyle's writing in the chat. So maybe he'll join us in a moment. I mean, not in the chat, in the notes. I think he's about to click on the link, so we'll welcome him in and catch him up because we haven't had a chance to talk about this. But we have a comment. Let's see. Atlanta Kim, from what I heard, you should still, they haven't called on anything. You should still, don't cancel your streaming services. Watch shows, movies, all that, because it still reflects the work. It reflects the value of the writers and the actors.
Right.
Yeah, they use those numbers against them, they said, like when those numbers start to tank.
Let me bring in Kyle.
But here's the flip side of it. Hey, Kyle.
Hey.
I just this morning I was reading in 4 days or 5 days, the culmination of Venture Brothers hits, right? The final movie that wraps up everything. And somebody posted a screenshot from IMDb that showed that on the exact same day, HBO Max is taking off the Venture Brothers from streaming.
Yes.
And to me, this is the flip side of it, right? Yeah. It's like,
and the creators didn't know.
Yeah, and I mean, the response from Jackson Public was, "Wait, what?" Like, he didn't know. It's the exact. So, like, this is increasingly more why I'm just buying media
Yeah.
Yes.
and ripping it, because I'm so tired of this stuff vanishing. I want to love this stuff. Yes.
Oh, what is that?
The animated Justice Leagues.
Hey.
It just
Skill
drives me
box.
nuts. I don't know if that was some petty ass move against the strikers, which again, it wouldn't be animation, although they might be part of
They might be
the-
part of both.
the
Yeah.
Writers
The
Guild,
writers
right?
part of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because the animation writers are not part of the WGA. They have their own. They have
Really?
their own guild. Yeah, they were. So, if you want more information, that clip I played from the Batman Beyond show from yesterday,
Mhm.
Mark talks a little bit about that as well, the animation. So, Kyle, just to fill you in, we're doing an update on the stuff that we're still going to cover on the channel because
Yeah.
we're supporting the strike. So it really means we're not doing a lot of trailer reactions and then cutting back on the amount of stuff that we talk about, like from shows from these companies, but we'll still do movie reviews and stuff like that.
Okay,
So-
I'm probably going to throw out a couple of Asian films just because the film festival was last week, like the ones I thought were really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of foreign films also don't fall in this category, so that's very cool. But
I'll
yeah,
say this.
cool.
Star Trek, I know it's part of the Red Strike, but Jesus Christ, Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 is fucking kicking ass right now. I mean,
And it kicks so much ass because of the people working on it,
yeah,
right?
exactly, I know. But you got to give props, and this was already done before the strike happened. So
Yeah.
right.
It's a complicated line, but we're trying to definitely.
I am kind of happy about the news though. I did read, and you guys probably already talked about it. The fact that like they're talking about how actors or writers can still work if it's for an independent film that's not attached to a huge company.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm hoping that goes because we may see a resurgence of maybe an indie block of films again, like we did back in the late '90s
Yeah.
and early 2000s.
Yeah. And that was mainly because we had, a theater boom. So we suddenly had these super megaplexes that were showing a lot of the same thing, and they needed to fill them with more stuff. So we had the rise of Miramax and independent film, and people got to tell stories that traditionally weren't film based stories. And it was a great time in cinema.
I also found out why like theaters like the Angelica now are showing bigger pictures. I thought it was something to do like because of like finances, but it had nothing to do with it. It has to do more of a law that kept them from being able to get the films. Like AMC and Cinemark were the ones who tightened them down, and just it had to do with the AMC and Addison and the Look Theater that's no longer there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Real quick, Leonard came in the chat being chaotic. The people who continue to purchase physical media have stayed winning. And people who just pirate have just been validated too.
Yes.
Great. So yeah, we'll get into all that. We definitely want to have a lot of comics to talk about, but I wanted to address that up front because it's been a point of contention. As you can see from the content from the previous week, it's definitely just a lot of comics and stuff.
I'm still waiting to before the actor strike, SAG went on strike. The studios say we're just going to wait for people to start losing their houses. Now that SAG's on strike, they can't do that anymore.
Now you're gonna lose your bonus, Bob Iger.
But there are actors that make that are on the bottom tier that that could still lose
and that's a
livelihood.
big thing that I think we need to remind people. This isn't about like Tom Cruise's salary or like Ben Affleck or any big star that you see at these big movies. It's about all the other actors that can make a living wage, that they're just working people too, like background actors. There's I think there's also like stunt performers. Like there's a whole bunch of people that still fall under that tag,
Right.
and then also the writers that are just kind of living paycheck to paycheck. Now sometimes it'll be a real good paycheck, but they're still fighting for residuals and just to benefit of like these companies making so much money off of their work. So they want to make sure that they're getting their fair share of that. So
quick question for you. So I know you guys are talking about animation. Does SAG also include voice actors?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I have been reaching out to a few people that I know are members, so hopefully maybe we can get somebody on the show or on a video, just so they can maybe explain a little bit more and put a face to this nameless organization of SAG. Which has it always been SAG-AFTRA? Like that's a new thing, right? Because it used to be just SAG.
It's been SAG for at least 10 years.
Yeah, SAG for sure. I remember that name's
But the
AFTRA part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. maybe it's just adding all the other people that are not specifically actors that fall under that. So, anyways,
It sounds almost like two unions joined together at some point, but
yeah.
I don't know when. So,
And anybody else out there that is looking for better work conditions and unionizing and stuff, like, go for it. I know there's a big one. Yeah, right. I know there's a big thing coming probably by August 1st with UPS. So
yeah.
get your rights, get paid.
Get paid, and also if you're a consumer, order your shit now.
Yeah.
So
great, Josh, starting a panic.
A physical media panic.
Hey, I may have just jumped onto Amazon and bought the new complete Venture Brothers DVD set.
Well,
while we were talking,
Shelby says that they've had a lot more people come in and buy physical media because they think that we're going to lose this access, which we are in some aspects, but like some of the things that people were buying, she said, were, like long syndicated shows, stuff you see on Pluto. But again, like it's long as it's viable to the streaming service, it will stay on there. If they are the only ones that own the rights and don't feel it's viable, they'll just pull it. And the only people that can watch it are the people who have physical media of it.
Yeah.
And, the other thing is, like, it's not like these studios are going to go broke because A24 is abiding by, like, they negotiated. They're good with all the demands that are coming from these organizations.
Yeah.
So they're not a struck company. So we'll definitely be talking about that. Talk to Me, a scary movie. As scary as it looks, I'll be going to watch it so we can talk about it. But yeah, like this A24 is a smaller studio that's still meeting all these demands. So like it's doable. It's just that these larger studios, they don't want to, like, I mean, they're investor, they have responsibilities to their investors or whatever. So anyways, all right, so that's our update, State of the Union for you guys. So stay tuned. We'll definitely, if anything changes, we'll definitely keep up to date. But all right, let's talk about, there's a lot to talk about. So like I said, we'll eventually talk about The Dark Knight because it had its 15-year anniversary, and I want to talk more about like our experience when we first went to watch it as opposed to like talking about the movie itself. So we'll get to that after some comic talk. And then we have a bunch of news from San Diego Comic-Con, the Eisners, and all that stuff. And then Clay's got a really interesting looking trailer that he wants us to watch. That I saw. I reviewed it. It's not from a struck company. It's a smaller production studio.
I got one I want to show too. It's from the Asian. It was one of the movies we had at the Asian Film Festival.
Okay, yeah. If you want to drop it in the notes, when we get to it, I'll pull it up.
Cool.
But let's start with comics. So let's go. Josh, I'm gonna start with you because you have a really interesting list here.
As usual. Yeah, so I have been catching up on stuff from the past 2 weeks or so.
Oh, and sorry, let me interrupt real quick. That Frank Miller bit from last week, I think it's real good on the social medias.
Nice.
People
Awesome.
really enjoy that.
That was a solid joke, Danny.
I thought it was pretty good.
Really good. Okay, so I mentioned this briefly last time, but I hadn't read it yet. I think it's Yosef, 1957. This book is batshit crazy. It's basically it's not even based on like actual historical fact, but it takes the kernel of history of the Soviets attempting to catch up to the Americans by sending animals into space, by deciding they're going to send the angriest chimp in the world. Actually, the angriest like primate. It's not a chimp. I think it's a gorilla. It's just fascinating. There's so much blood and arms being ripped off and just stuff. And
good times.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say there is a twist at the end when he finally gets to space that is rather interesting. So I'll probably
meets Charlton Heston.
No. That'd be pretty cool though. But I'll probably pick up issue 2, which came out like a week after this first issue, and I haven't found it yet, so I need to track it down.
Who's the publisher on this one?
CEX.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that last
Yeah.
week. Okay, cool.
And the art style is great. I'm trying to find a page that I can show you. Here we go. The art style is great, but then I also love just all of the, like, on the back cover, it looks like a Soviet stamp with Yosef on it. So anyway, this is cool. It's good. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why I keep reading this. I have no fucking clue what's going on. I feel like at a certain point, so you read, let me name it, Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperborea. I love the concept here, which is basically a 19th century woman who you learn very little about is somehow connected psychically and genetically with a warrior from ancient Hyperborea. And it keeps cutting back and forth between the two stories. And this is the first issue where it sort of flips the paradigm, where you suddenly get a sense that actually Miss Truesdale seems to be the one going into the past and being there in the moment. There is, just I don't think it's a spoiler, but there is a Hellboy reference finally. I feel like it, because this is written by Mignola, I feel like there's gonna be a moment, and I will wait for it, when he's just gonna package up all these weird random Hellboy connections into like a canonical compendium, and then I'll read it, right? Because I don't know what's going on. I know it's related to Hellboy. I don't know how. I don't know who these characters are.
So wait for the trade.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want just this, is the thing. I want it inserted into a bigger story about how all of, because like this is related, that Frankenstein in the New World is related.
Yeah.
Isn't
I feel like some of these are related in the way that it happens in the same universe. But
yeah.
it's not like you don't really need. I think there's another one called like Black Birds of a Feather or something like that. Like there's a lot of stuff coming out from the world of Hellboy,
right?
With characters that maybe at one point were in a Hellboy thing, and now they've kind of moved on to their own thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though that the universe keeps growing. Very similar to, I think Jeff Lemire's doing something similar with Black Hammer, where you want to read Black Hammer probably because it's a very good series, but you don't need to get into all the stuff that all the other series. So,
well, that's a great segue actually, because if we're talking about expanded interconnected universes, I read Void Rivals #2.
Now, Kyle, you haven't been on the stream since this first issue came out. Do you know about this book?
Yeah. So this is. Trying to think who got it. Fuck. It's been, who bought the rights for everything. I'm trying to think. It's
Skybound. So it's
Skybound. Yeah.
No, but I think somebody one person's in charge of the whole thing. Or anyway, Skybound.
Kirkman.
Huh?
Kirkman.
Kirkman. Yeah. So he got the rights. He bought the rights of both G.I. Joe and Transformers, and he's making his own. It's the Void Rival universe. I know. I saw that earlier.
I love this cover. Anyway, sorry.
So the whole point is, it's basically. He's kind of creating a universe. It's him attempting what Hasbro was trying to do by their consolidated universe a couple of years ago. That what was the company that originally had him? It was I'm blanking now.
I mean, there's E1 is the Hasbro company for multimedia.
No, but who had Transformers, G.I. Joe, TMNT? Who had?
It was like IDW or Titan.
Which one?
IDW's had him forever.
IDW. Yeah. So he bought the rights of both Transformers and G.I. Joe from IDW.
Okay.
Now it's under the Image label, and he's creating his own universe. So this first issue starts off with the two aliens fighting each other, and you get that cameo of Jetfire, or actually, I think they call him Skyfire in there. And so he goes off, and you realize that we're going to start getting single issues of both G.I. Joe and Transformers, which is going to run into this whole communicated universe. So it's Kirkman basically trying to make. Hopefully, what we're going to see is maybe the new MCU kind of, but it's him making their own combined universe under the Image label now.
Right. Okay, Josh. What did you think of Void Rivals? So I haven't read it. I did buy it, but I haven't read it.
I like it. Something happens at the end that I'm a little confused about, and I don't have enough current. How do I say this? I don't have enough current lore to know if it's related to the Transformers. All right, Kyle's saying no.
Is that issue 1?
No,
it's two.
2.
Oh, I haven't read two yet. I've read
Okay.
one. Okay.
So something happens at the end of it, and I'm not sure if it's related or not. I think my one complaint is, and it's not really a complaint, as much as I liked the cameo of Jetfire in the first issue, this doesn't need it. Like, I'm not seeing how it's related to the bigger Transformers universe yet. Now it's only 2 issues in, so I don't think that's its fault really. But it's a great story. Otherwise, like I'm getting lots of 80s sci-fi vibes. What was that 80s movie where it's basically this concept, right? It's like human and alien trapped on a planet.
Yeah,
Oh.
the alien was played by Louis Gossett Jr.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
Alien.
Quaid, that's right.
I mean-
you guys both know what I'm talking about. We don't know the title.
To me, to bring it more contemporary for our younger viewers, to me this felt a lot like the beginning of Kong Skull Island, where
Enemy Mine.
where
Ah,
John C. Reilly and then I believe it was a Japanese flyer, like they both
Yeah.
get stranded on Kong Island, so then they have to work together, and then they become friends, and then like it really felt like that was it. And here's Jeff. Jeff, of course, knew the answer as well.
That is
I
exactly
need to bring Jeff on. I think you guys like him. Jeff, let me know when you're available. Yeah, so I think it felt a lot like that. But I'm looking forward to reading this issue. Actually, I'm also looking forward to all the Transformers, especially because I love Daniel Warren Johnson, who just won I was gonna say an Emmy yesterday, an Eisner. So, all right,
yeah,
what else?
and the art is great on this too.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. I'm sorry.
oh, nothing. So I was looking at it. I was looking at the end of issue 2, and I recognized the character.
Okay, that's
He's
what
an
I'm
alien from season 3 of Transformers Generation 1.
That's why I don't know. But okay, so it is
It's a
totally-
deep cut.
Oh yeah, it's Transformers related. Oh my god! In fact, they're bringing that fucking obscure of a character.
it's very obscure. So
Oh my god. Okay, I just wait. Okay, cool.
all right, so should I go on?
Yeah, do one more, and then we'll go to Clay.
Okay. Let me jump ahead then. Well, actually, Clay may have read that. Okay, I'll just say this. My shop had anyway. There was one title I didn't get, which is fine. They're gonna back order it, but I picked this up instead because it was on the shelf, and I was just kind of confused and thought I was like
Where are the guys?
I'd gone back in time or something. This is not a facsimile. This is a reissue.
Makes sense.
They're going to reissue the main series. You got it too.
Of course.
Wonder Woman: War of the Gods.
I got it because I thought it was a facsimile.
Oh
Yeah, I thought so too. I grabbed it and then I flipped through. I was like, well, wait a minute. That's a new movie. They wouldn't
Well,
put that.
Not even that. The logo at the top there.
Oh, you're right.
That's brand
the
new
current
too.
logo. Yeah.
This
Man,
this
all right.
wasn't out back then. Are you saying there wasn't a Blue Beetle movie coming out?
There wasn't. No. This is what, from 91, I
Yeah.
think.
91.
All right, Danny, what did you think of this?
Oh, I haven't read it. I just
Oh,
picked, like I
okay.
said, I thought it was a facsimile.
I gotta tell you, it's so, and I think this is the same issue I have when I try to read Crisis. It's so dense,
Yeah.
and there are so many characters I don't know, because it's clearly spinning off of whatever was happening in the mainstream DC continuity at the time. That said, the art is beautiful. I'm just
Yeah.
in it for the art. It's so, I mean, oh, where's the page? I just,
Yeah,
where's
it's
it?
This
like
one?
that.
Is it this one, Josh?
It's Perez, isn't it?
It's all Perez.
Yeah.
It is, well, it is Perez, but art is finished by
Ron Lim.
no, Cynthia Martin.
No.
Oh.
Bit of trivia. This is the book that we lost Perez for on when he was doing Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, really?
He did the first 4 issues, and then we went to Lim for the last 2.
That's
he
why I'm
left- he
getting
left-
Lim
he was
in my
supposed to-
head.
Yeah, he left that and went on to War of the Gods.
Probably because
it does have some really neat pinups at the back.
Yeah.
too.
No, this page I just like over here. It's just a great.
I like how much detail there is. I hate drawing hair, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But look at these. Look at these pinups in the back. Look at Deathstroke.
Yeah,
defending
those
it.
are amazing
Fuck
pinups.
yeah.
Is that Irwin? No,
Yeah,
no, that's not.
It looks like it.
I think it's Irwin.
It says CSGP. So I don't think so.
CSGP?
But I mean, it could be. Steve Irwin's been working on Deathstroke.
Well, they're all CSGP. Oh, George Perez. CS. It's not
Carlos
CGP.
Pacheco, maybe.
CS.
Carlos Pacheco. Oh no, no.
For CS.
Well, if you know, let us know. Jeff, you're watching. Let us
It
know.
couldn't be Kurt Swan.
What?
Kurt Swan.
Oh shit! You think?
Did they bring Kurt Swan back for that? Was he alive in 91?
Like, did he do since his initials are first? I wonder if he did like maybe the layout and then Perez finished it.
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
It doesn't look like
have
Or,
that
or
hit-
he just maybe Perez inked it on top. Todd McFarlane does that a lot, where he'll just ink on top of someone and then give it his little flavor.
God, that Deathstroke pinup is just incredible.
It's good, right? Yeah,
It's
like,
really,
I like that a
really
lot.
good.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Um,
Cool.
That looks like the pose from the cutscene where he shows up.
oh, on the boat.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
just like the pose he does.
You're right. God, all right, I'm gonna look this up while you guys.
Disappointed, Jeff. Disappointed.
Um,
All right, Clay. What do you got for us?
I am finishing out the Hickman Avengers run.
Okay.
I really think when he's said and done with Marvel, I'm just going to collect all the hardbacks of Hickman's runs because they're all fun and different and wild, always entertaining. A book I cannot talk about enough is Planet of the Apes. I know Josh said that he read the latest issue. The best thing about this book is it's not just one story. You always are getting multiple stories of what's happening, and the current story is the smartest gorilla in the world?
oh, the backup story.
Yeah. And
Is it Joseph?
Not that one. Yeah.
Well, it's
This one
wild.
is French.
yeah, it's wild because you see the monkeys as they start to evolve beyond all the death of the humans, because there's very few humans left, and they've created basically a militia to wipe out the rest of the gorillas, while scientists have been defending the gorillas, thinking they're the key to our survival. And so now we have apes and humans working together. We have an army of men that are trying to wipe out the apes. But we have this backup story of the smart gorilla from Europe who is French and learns French through a child's toy he discovers. But he also seems to have a sense of strategy about him. Like, you can see that there's been battles, but they don't ever show. They go into how he's learning and evolving, and totally worth the money. And I'm kind of curious that they've added this 20th Century Studios logo on the Marvel books, if they're going to try to make that an imprint of some of their movies.
What?
Clay, is this backup story the origin of Monsieur Mallah?
I wish. And then maybe a love story when he meets the Brain.
Yeah.
Hey, Clay, have you read the newest issue yet or not?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good cover too.
It's a great cover. This issue does something that I thought was kind of brilliant as well, which is this issue is the big moment where basically some of the apes that are being protected get attacked by this like splinter group that is aiming to annihilate them all.
Yeah.
And then the whole, most of the main story is a big battle between them. But what I love about it is nearly all the exposition is from an unseen, clearly later, congressional hearing. right? It's clearly between some politician and one of the people that was at this battle. And I thought that was brilliant because on one hand, they're wrapping this up next issue, which I'm like, fuck, but that one sequence does a great job of being able next issue to jump ahead and in time, and you won't feel lost because you've already gotten all this extensive exposition between the two. I don't know. I thought it was great. I am so This book is so good. I'm constantly.
I mean, and there's just really cool concepts in there because they're, it's the gorillas being able to communicate. There is a gorilla wearing a beret.
There is a gorilla wearing a beret.
Yeah, that's why I pulled it up. This is from Doom Patrol when
I thought that
Guatemala was in Doom Patrol. Spoiler for Doom Patrol.
But there's an awesome.
Take it off. I said, go watch Doom Patrol in case they take it off of the service.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I hope they put out steel books of it. But the thing I really loved in Planet of the Apes was the military attacking at one point and the guy making the call for backup and the guy going, there is no backup. You hear the saddest part of like this guy who's trapped. He's probably like the only survivor and he's asking for help. And they're like, this is it. Like we've run out of soldiers. Like we're it. We've spent it all. It's an awesome book. Book. Really. Moon Knight, A City of the Dead. This introduces Scarlet Scarab from the TV show. If you only know Moon Knight through the TV show, this is the jumping on point because it basically integrates a lot of the gods and the Egyptian stuff into the Moon Knight.
Oh, my eyes.
Cover.
I got the Pepe Larraz foil cover.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is nice for Scott Young. It isn't like one of the 3 types of covers he's been kind of reduced to doing. It's something actually different.
I like when he integrates multiple characters, like more than one. Like it's not just the TV version of the character, but like there's a little. It's almost like a strip of just like a comic strip that you would find in the newspaper.
I dug it, because it kind of pulls the two together. I don't know if it's going, the introduction of Scarlet Scarab seems, I don't know. There's just like one big panel, like I want more story than the way it was done, but like hopefully this will flesh it out a lot. That it was a good tease. I like
David Pepose, who I believe is the writer.
Yeah,
he did the Savage Avengers, the newer one where they go into the future and like there's a lot of shit going on. We actually have news for him later on, so I won't spoil that. But yeah.
And I finished Nightwing Leaping into the Light. The Tom Taylor. God, that was so good.
I believe they just won an Eisner for that series too.
And the amazing part of it is like there isn't a lot of backgrounds that, and I complain about that in other stories. In here, it's used as color and it's different and it's done better. The page layouts are incredible because there's like pathways to stories. Like the art is more of the storyteller than some other books I've seen. And I mean, it's just I think the best thing I loved about it wasn't any of the action sequences as much as it was Dick Grayson talking with Superman. Like having that discussion that he's never had with Bruce.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. Like that was just the best written part of it. And that's what I love about like Tom Taylor is he like gives you the good stuff out of comics. Like he likes
the emotional. He likes to bring in a little bit more of emotion and like just behind the scene, like the quieter scenes that you don't always get in big superhero comics.
Yeah, but I absolutely love that, and but I love his stuff. Any of his DC stuff is awesome.
His run is amazing, and it's been amazing. I will say the newer Teen Titans stuff. I'm not like. I feel like he's maybe spreading himself a little thin with a lot of characters, but I'm still.
Are you talking about like the newest one where they're taking over for the Justice League?
Yeah, the Tom Taylor stuff.
I'm enjoying that one.
Good. Yeah, I think it's good. It just, what's going on? Did you find out?
I did. It's Chris Sprouse.
Oh,
Sprouse.
CS. Chris Sprouse. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Whoa. What else, Clay? How many have you hit? Let's do one more, and then we'll go to Kyle because I want to ask him about one of his.
Oh, that's all the comics I got.
Okay, then let's move on to Kyle. Kyle, tell me what you thought about that book that's on the first one on your list. Because I saw
I've been
it
doing
too.
more manga than I have comic books. Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Kate Red, awesome. This is
Really?
awesome
Okay.
book. It's so it's the artist Yusuke Osawa. It's his first time doing an American book from Viz Media and Marvel, and basically it deals with this. Weirdly enough, a Japanese kid who's in New York named Yu, who is basically he's busted his ass to get into like the new top high school, but once he gets there, he can't keep up with the grades, so he's starting to flunk out. And so one day he just happens to find Spider-Man's costume in an alleyway. Come to find out that later that basically there's a Spider-Man Peter is infected with the symbiont in the sewers of New York, and he sort of kind of takes over as Spider-Man. Like he puts the costume on and pretends to like maybe this will make me braver. And in this book, everybody loves Spider-Man. Like he is New York's, and there are other heroes, but he's like, everybody loves the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So he goes and there's somebody goes, Spider-Man, there's a fire going on. He goes, oh crap, I can't. I'm not really Spider-Man. What does he do? Does the Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man 2 and runs in the building with his costume on and saves the kid.
Ah, nice.
And this stuff's got some really kind of cool artwork.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
I like
you
that.
You can check out a preview on the Viz website. I was trying to look at the show, but
Well,
so I saw the book at half price. I was at half price.
yeah, I got this at Tease Comics, but I on Thursday they had a whole bunch of the half price and
Yeah, I saw it at half price, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I need to check it out."
Pick
But I
it
wanted
up,
before I
bro.
bought it, I wanted to see if it was going to be on the Shonen Jump app or the Viz app, which I already have. So yeah, it looks super cool. I think Viz is doing a little bit of things. There's another book they have called Marvel Comics, a manga tribute.
Yeah,
So I think they're teaming up with with Marvel, which is cool. Like I want to see these, and DC also launched this week their 3 digital manga titles as well.
It's 4 p.m.
They know that the manga's popular, so hopefully they'll make more.
This is one time I'm going to say, don't get on the app. Buy the physical format of it. This is worth it.
Yeah.
Another one I found this one randomly. If you guys are ever in Den, make sure to check out Recycled Books.
Oh God, yeah.
The man who created Gundam.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
This I saw this. I was like, and all their manga's half off, so whatever the cover price is. So this was originally 21 or 22. I got it for 10.
Why does he
Wait,
look like Grant Morrison?
I was about to say, did Grant Morrison and
No. This is Hideki Owada.
No, it looks like him on
I
the
know.
cover.
And so it's a story about it takes place in the late 70s or early 80s about the guys who created Gundam, but they take they flare it up to make it more camp. Where like the guy
Right.
here, he's the main creator, and he looks like a buff dude. But if you ever saw the real creator, he's more like he's kind of like more our stature, kind of like not really built.
Oh, way to bring them down. Our stature.
Our stature.
No, but like
Dad bods.
like this, like here.
Yeah.
I don't think the guy had his shirt with abs, a 12-pack abs, like that and everything. But
Who knows? Gundams are heavy. You got to be strong to put those
True.
together.
I had those marks, but they're scars. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
They also make him into a very kind of like perv, where he tries to she tries to get him with the thing, but he falls down the stairs and hurts himself.
Now we're talking.
But in between the chapters, they actually give you like real life history on stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And this
Oh,
book,
speaking of, sorry, just real quick, Jeff, Chris Sprous's clobbering time is great. I think you talked about that last week, right, Josh?
Yeah,
Oh, is that the thing
love
series?
clobbering.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
good.
finally done, so I'll catch up on it now.
It's done. Yeah, it's fantastic.
but no, this one, if you get a chance, this one is definitely worth it. I mean, but I always recommend you like, especially not trying to hate on half price, but Recycled Books has a bigger, and they even have
like, don't do it.
No. I love half price, but when it comes to Recycled, because it's only the one store in Den, they have a whole back issue. Like, I mean, you I know I saw that.
I scored Howard the Duck at half price books.
No, and trust me, I picked up Scud at half price on Thursday.
I scored this, so I'm finally reading Craven's last
you
time.
sad bastard.
But I'm just saying,
Super cheap at half price books.
Yeah.
I'm saying Recycled. There's no half price in Denton, so Recycled is definitely worth because you never know what
Oh
you're gonna
yeah.
get. Also, I found a new designer toy store out in Keller and I picked up a couple pops. I got
Oh, Tracks.
Astro Boy. They're first time I ever spent a little more over $10 on a pop Astro Boy.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I got this one. I was looking for Tracks. This was a limited edition that only came out at one of the. This was a Toy Tokyo comic show exclusive. So
There's so many Transformers that we're gonna see in the comics. They can make 10 series and not use a single character, like not repeat a character.
and then shout out to my buddy PJ Joy Hunter on YouTube. He does like toy videos, but he does all the like the toy shows and he does a lot of diecast stuff. Thanks to him, I now have it was the Comic-Con exclusive Japanese Spider-Man Hot Wheels.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder why Spider-Man needs a car, but you know.
Watch the Japanese series and you'll get it. But he needs it to drive Leopardon.
That's what I would leave in because it looks cool on the board.
Oh god, yeah. And I now officially have. I'm not sure. I think I have all the Japanese Spider-Man toys they've released. This, the action figure, the Marvel Legends, the pop, and then the soda. So I got all the Japanese Spider-Man stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let me talk about some comics, and then you guys can probably, well, at least Josh can chime in on one of them. But first, I'm going to talk about the biggest comic that is got a really hard barrier of entry because it's the combination of Mark Millar's endless years of writing edgy comics. Big Game, number
That's
one.
somehow edgy with 4 X's. I don't know how he put that in.
Yeah. Mark Millar, Pepe Larraz. So if anybody read Nemesis Reloaded or has been reading that series, The Ambassadors, a little bit of spoilers. This 5-issue series is going to put everything together. And I'm talking about everything. Kick-Ass, The Kingsman, Magic Order, Huck, Nightclub, The Ambassadors. Like stuff you've never even thought about it.
Why?
So wait, the Kingsman takes place in the Kick-Ass universe?
It's all going to take place in the same universe somehow. Now, I don't know. We haven't seen everything. We did, so a little bit of spoilers for this one. We do see Kick-Ass in this issue.
Okay.
And it's really fun. It's really fun. But if you read Nemesis Reloaded, I'm very scared for Kick-Ass and all the other heroes.
I mean, I guess if he makes it fun and cool, but it just seems like a bit because Netflix bought them, so they didn't realize it wasn't a universe, and now he's going, well, I'll make it a universe.
Right. That's exactly what it feels. Incredibly forced.
The premise is kind of like these villains long ago killed all the superheroes, kind of like what's it called?
Wanted?
No, Logan. What's the Wolverine book? Old Man Logan style of coup. Like all the villains united, they killed all the superheroes. So society doesn't remember that. They made him forget. But the reason like all these superhero properties in media are so popular is because subconsciously society still remembers. So there's like a Jupiter's Legacy show on TV in this world and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
That's the same premise of Wanted, though.
Is it? Oh, I've never read Wanted.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because it's based on like the Marvel tropes more than anything. And then this kid, is like basically the son of the Punisher, type character. And he's being trained by a, Catwoman-like character. And they've killed all the superheroes and they've turned their Superman into like
that explains why they re-release Wanted #1 as a 20th anniversary thing. Okay, that sounds cool. I mean, I guess that's very different from the
movie is way different and full of shit, but it is fun. I mean, the movie's kind of fun, it has some fun stuff, but it's nothing like the comic. And you have to go into the comic knowing a lot of the history of comic tropes.
Well, I think I should be okay then.
You should be fine.
All right, real quick, I also picked up, and you guys know I love a little cheesecake every once in a while. So I picked up the Street Fighter swimsuit special.
Oh my god!
Hey now.
Hey, it's not only the ladies; it's everyone. Everyone's in a swimsuit in this thing.
I want to see.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mainly got it because it's a blank cover, so I can get somebody to draw me a Street Fighter character in it.
I want Guile with full frontal nudity. All right.
You need a Joe Mad cover. That's what you need on that.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we just need to get him come over, say hi. I picked up a few other cool things, and then we'll talk about a comic that Josh, both and I read. and that Clay should have read, but we didn't organize properly. This
I'm
is
an idiot.
the oh shit,
Ooh.
the Harley
Oh, yep.
Black,
okay.
White, and Redder #1.
Black, white.
It's got 3 different
Foil
stories.
cover.
One by Chip Zdarsky, one by Paul Scheer from How Did This Get Made, and the other one's by Leah Williams, who friend of the show, Leah Williams, who both Adrian and I have met in person. So picked up this Tales of the Titans, Starfire.
Man,
it's really hard for me to show you guys.
You're
this cover.
you're really into
Yeah.
the foil covers lately.
Oh, I love foil.
We did not put the warning at the beginning of the show
Yeah.
that we're going to have
Yeah.
flashing covers.
And then next, we're just going to show a clip from Pokemon and send everyone into seizures.
And then last foil cover, this Power Rangers Hyperforce #1. Really cool. Like,
I like
really
I'm,
cool cover.
I'm old manning this every time you put it on, like leaning in and squinting.
Yeah, no, don't look directly at it. It's kind of like, you got to wear those goggles.
Right. Yeah.
If you've ever seen I think is it Sunshine, that Alex Garland movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't look directly at the sun.
Oh, that's
Or
a
you'll
good
get you'll
movie.
get Cillian Murphy. Watch that movie; it's really good.
Yeah.
And then I did pick up this Blue Beetle Special Edition #1. This is a reprint from the 2006 series.
Okay.
I'll definitely be getting my Blue Beetle stories on in preparation for the movie. But Josh, let's talk about Red Sonja #1.
Sorry. Well, I was just going to say, should we be concerned about the fact that a Blue Beetle movie is coming out and rather than doing a new series, they just reissue the first issue from 06?
They just finished Graduation Day, which was a new
Okay.
series.
All right.
So yeah, they have been preparing for this.
Okay.
I guess I don't know. They're doing weird marketing. Whatever. We don't need to talk about it.
I don't think that the comics ever matched up with the movies in terms of like stories and stuff, or trying to do something tying in.
If you want some good Blue Beetle stuff and you don't want to go back and read the comics or whatever, go watch Young Justice. That has one of the best and I don't know about accurate to the comics, but it just has one of my favorite representations of Jaime and Blue Beetle. So, but let's get I thought about getting that cover. I really wanted the Jen Friesen cover, but
I really wanted the Mignola cover, but I have a strict one cover per book rule, so I picked this one instead.
This is by Torun Grumbeck and Walter Giovanni, who saw our review, left a comment. Thank you very much for watching.
Oh, hey, that's cool.
What'd you think of it? I haven't read much Red Sonja in the past. I've only read a few one shots, but I get it.
Yeah,
Hot chick,
well,
kicking ass.
I read the first volume of Simone's Queen of Plagues, which I really like, and then I recently read that the one by Dan Abnett, where it's her young and kind of explains where she gets her armor from.
Oh,
I really
is it year 1?
It's not year 1.
Year
It's
0?
It's the Immortal Red Sonja, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Where she can't take off her armor or something, right?
Yes, yeah, and her armor is cursed, essentially. This was good. It felt like a throwback to like kind of OG Red Sonja, if you ever read it. Created by Roy Thomas back in the Marvel Comics Conan run. It felt very classic. I did feel like the opening of the book does a lot of heavy lifting, and I was very confused for a while. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But once Sonja shows up, it's great. It just kind of like breezes through. Has a great cliffhanger at the end. I really dug that. How about you, Dan?
I love the like panels like this where you just see how cocky she like.
Yeah, that was
she's
great.
a kick-ass. She's a badass, right? So like, also I read this on the preview that Dynamite sent us, and I wasn't aware of how many ads are in these Dynamite books.
Yes, and they're all cheesecake because it's Dynamite.
They're really. I mean, yeah, they really are.
You're hard pressed to find a non-cheesecake Dynamite book.
Oh, easy. I didn't know where you were going with that.
Not that kind of hard pressed, let me say. No tinting involved. So
Who did the art on the book?
Walter Giovanni.
Yeah,
it's very good. I really like it. it doesn't feel very exaggerated either.
Mm-mm.
Like you may like I don't know. I'm sure this book has gone through some artists that really leaned into like, oh, Red Sonja has to look really really good.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too good for real human proportions. But she's also kind of a demon, I think. I don't even know like where she gets her powers or anything. I just
Yeah.
think
God,
Red
she was
Sonja-
just like a barbarian type.
I just think of Red
Sword.
Sonja as like Conan, but like
Yeah.
with red hair.
Now I'm
And-
picturing just Arnold with red
and-
hair.
She's Conan with red hair and somehow more armor. So, go
yeah. Just a little, not too
just
much.
a little, yeah.
Just a
But-
little more.
But
armor.
still more. I just want to say fundamentally more armor.
Yeah.
So
Which is interesting that they're starting this series because they do have a movie coming out.
Right.
So maybe they're actually trying to sync up the comics with the.
This is
other
also for
forms.
the 50th anniversary of Red Sonja, which that's a long time for a character to be around.
Yeah.
And because I'll have to bail a bit early, my recommendation for this month is there is a humble bundle of comics of Red Sonja for the 50th anniversary.
Nice.
And it's fantastic. It has for $18 you get I think like 21 volumes, including 4 of the original Marvel run by Roy Thomas.
Oh, wow.
Reprinted by IDW, I believe. And then you get all 3 volumes of Gail Simone's run, Queen of Plagues, and then like a smattering of kind of issues and volumes therein. So it's a fantastic bundle. I picked it up last night. Highly recommend it. So
I'll probably get that because after reading this, I do want to find more good Red Sonja. I'm sure there's going to be some that's not as good. Because
there's
I've been reading. I mean, a character's been around for so long, and
there's some in that bundle that clearly have the Cheesecake Factor.
I also know.
Vampirella team up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dynamite's a little hit or miss, but their Disney books have been pretty good too. Their Disney villains.
There's a Jim Zub book, Red Sonja and Cub.
Oh, I like Jim Zub.
Hey, that sounds good.
Sounds like a D&D adventure.
It does, yeah.
Cool. That's really all the comics I had. I mean, I read a bunch of the Night Terror stuff, but you can go read that go watch those on the channel.
I couldn't believe how many books are in that.
Oh my god, it's just overwhelming.
At my shop, Urban Legends, they had a sheet down, and Shelby was like, "Who could buy all those?" And they said, and he said that they actually shut down the other series to put these in. Oh my gosh!
Well,
they're taking not every series, but most.
I was like,
so there's no Night Terror's Doom Patrol, so that's why the Doom Patrol continues on.
There doesn't need to be Night Terror's Doom Patrol because it's
already a nightmare. That's a good segue. Let's talk about Doom Patrol.
Yeah. Again, it's only 7 issues. I have no clue what the fuck's going on in this book, and that's fine. You shouldn't. It's Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
I like this issue because this character, who, when she's in this form, she says you have to call her Jerry, which I understand. Basically the whole issue is just her as the group therapist talking to each of the members. And that's kind of cool because this is actually a great, even though it's more than halfway through the run, it's a great jumping on point. Because if you've never read Doom Patrol and you're starting with this book, this issue basically gives you that backstory in a very organic way.
Oh,
and
cool.
I love the art on this. I don't think it's the usual artist. It's David LaFuente. And
that's because it was what's his name that worked with Grant Morrison a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just great. It's a little more comic-y and cartoony, but it just works really, really well. So anyway, I'm still enjoying the series. It's fantastic. I think the regular artist did the cover, right? That's them right there.
No, that's not. Is it? It's. I think it's Frank Quietly that's on the regular art. Chris Burnham. Chris Burnham. Sorry.
Yeah. No, and this is by Burnham.
Okay. Yeah, I get them mixed up because their styles are very similar. Like,
understandably, yeah.
So.
And then I've just got one more. It's my
go for it.
Pick of the week.
Rocketeer.
Den of Thieves.
Color me surprised.
I am so happy because you guys know I am really not a fan of a lot of the reboot stuff they did.
Wait.
This is the same team that did The Great Race, which I loved and felt very much like a true Dave Stevens style Rocketeer story. And this picks up immediately after, well, actually, like several weeks after.
Well, you gotta take time to refuel the jet pack.
Well, no, because the jetpack is broken.
Oh,
Yeah. And Cliff, at the end of The Great Race, decided he was going to give up the jetpack to dedicate himself to Betty. And that's where this issue picks up. And it is great. This is the first thing I think since the Rocketeer has come back that feels like you're reading the original Rocketeer. And I also like in this one that it kind of, without spoiling anything, by the end of the issue, it inverts the paradigm, which I hate that term, but I'm going to go with anyway, of most Rocketeer stories. It's great. If you like the Rocketeer, these are worth reading. Go read The Great Race and then start right here with Den of Thieves issue 1. So
I like that the cover implies that even though he gave up being the Rocketeer, he refuses to take off the helmet. And
right, yeah, it's just
I'm gonna spend time with Betty, but
but
I'm not losing the helmet.
yeah, no. She's just gonna have to deal with it. It's just me naked from the neck down and the helmet. So
The helmet.
so anyway,
right.
really, really good, really good.
Was that it?
Yeah, and it's Stephen Mooney is writing it. David Messina is drawing it. Again, same team as The Great Race. So.
We'll get to. There was one more thing I wanted to. So Josh asked me about
Yes, I did.
this collecting thing.
I didn't think it was out already yet.
So you can. You can order one that comes with everything already, or you can order this. So.
Oh no.
So it's the case, right? For
Okay.
Batman One Bad Day, it's for all the one shots. They reprinted them, the one shots, into these little hardcovers. But
This is
when
nice.
you buy this box, it comes with a reprint of
That's interesting. Okay.
the Killing Joke,
Nice.
and it comes with the first one, which is the Tom King Mitch
The
Gerard
Riddler.
Riddler one.
Yeah, which is the only one I read, and it's really good.
So
It's right.
I didn't know that when I ordered this at Titan. So I have two of these. I have
No,
two of these hardcovers now.
Yeah.
I'll figure out what to do with the other
I'll,
one.
I'll buy the hardcover off you if you want.
All right,
So,
we'll chat.
all right.
But yeah, so yeah, they go in here. There's two more coming out, I think next week or the week after that, and then you got a nice little hardcover hard case collection.
I love it when a set comes together and it's perfect.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I did watch the A-Team right after we talked about it.
Oh man. Wait. The original show?
No, the movie.
the movie.
The movie's fine. I did think it was funny when I actually enjoy the moment when they go through the wall in the car, and I know Clay doesn't. It's a little. I watched the extended cut too, which was probably a mistake. It's very long. It's longer than it needs to be.
Why would there need to be more of it? It's just, it's the worst fucking. It's terrible.
If I had to pick from the premise, if I had to pick between the Losers and the A-Team, I'd pick the Losers. I think it's a better movie.
Yeah.
So go watch the Losers.
I feel like we should never seen the original TV series.
I mean, I know enough. I made as an intro with the A-Team.
Yeah, they explain the whole story in the intro.
They really do.
I'm just saying the movie it can hold no candle to the original TV series.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think I have the intro loaded anymore on here. Did we
What?
remove it?
No.
Let me see.
I also agree with Kyle, but that's because I'm an old fart.
Oh, fuddy duddy.
And you can watch them all online.
Yeah, I don't know
No,
what
that
happened to
movie
the-
was like purposeless. It just
I know.
it didn't bring anyone any joy. It could barely even be called entertainment.
It did not come together, you would say.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the Losers. When you got Mr. T on your side.
The Losers is
No.
fucking
I'm not.
awesome.
I'm not. No. I'm just comparing. If you're gonna, he said he was going to choose the Losers over the A-Team. I'm just saying, if I had to go one or the other direction.
Yeah, but Mr. T is just the TV show. And you can't compare the TV show with the Losers.
And then for most of the movie, Baraka doesn't even have his mohawk because
I
he
know.
chose a
the movie's
non-violent.
nothing.
That was a weird thing to change about the character, because then the implication is that at the end of the film, he chooses that killing is cool and he should
Yeah.
do it, so he gets the mohawk again. That was a weird. That was probably the dumbest thing. Like, I love the bit about him not wanting to fly. I think that's funny
Yeah,
because
Yeah, it's
all
from
their
the
shit,
show.
whole series.
because all this shit they do requires them to fly.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
You have a pilot on the team. I think he's great. What's his name? The guy from District 9 and all those movies.
Copley.
Yeah, I think he's so good. He's probably the best performance in the movie. And yeah, so Jeff does point out the One Bad Day set reminds him of the old Time Life collections. You keep adding to the collection, put in a beautiful slipcase.
Actually, I was at Half Price and they had sitting out like 3 volumes from the Time Life
Old West.
No, it was Psychic of all
Oh,
things. I didn't know there was its own series.
Set.
So,
Yeah, those are awesome.
All right. Before we get into, well, I don't know, we don't really have a main topic, but there was a big thing that happened, at least for me.
Well, I put a couple of shows down.
Oh, okay.
But now I'm kind of conflicted if I should talk about
so
them.
am I.
I mean, we can save them until next week too. Well, maybe we'll get.
Well,
more
let me do one because I want to put this out as a warning. Just
boy.
as much as the A Team is
if you're gonna clown on it, I think we could talk. We could definitely talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna clown on it.
He's okay for clowning on it.
The movie The Outlaws that's on Netflix. It's one of their trending films, top 10. It's got Adam Devine from Workaholics. I'm a big fan of that stuff. This is anti-entertainment. It had negative laughs because there are no laughs in the movie. And then there's at one point where they kick a dog and it goes flying, and that's supposed to be funny. So if you find that funny, this is your kind of movie, but it is pointless, useless, and a complete waste of your time. So please do not watch it and keep it trending. That is your warning. I'm not going to say anything else because it just doesn't have anything to offer.
This film is the first thing I've rated on Letterboxd in a long time. Did not finish.
Oh, wow.
Because I fell asleep.
Damn.
Well, I fell asleep too, and I was like, I'm gonna try to find the
I was
funny.
like, I'm not. I just realized that Adam Devine's only funny in certain, like with certain other people. Like, I love him in The Righteous Gemstones. I think he's great in that. But I mean, that show's also got. Like,
I mean, you got John
hilarious,
Goodman in that, so
yeah.
like you can't.
But yeah, that movie, even Pierce Brosnan and what's her name?
Ellen Barkin.
Yeah,
if you want to see Ellen Barkin in something great, watch Drop Dead Gorgeous. Don't watch this movie. They barely use her, and she's fucking incredible. Like, and she is just like the mother-in-law who she has a few lines, and they don't really give her much to do.
Yeah, so
just total shit.
It's really bad.
And Vivarium, I believe, is an A24 film. Have y'all seen Vivarium with
Barbarian? Yeah.
With Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots. Wow.
Oh no, I don't think I've seen. I'm thinking of something else then.
Yeah, this came out March 2020, so it made $400,000 at the theater. It is a weird bummer of a film that I enjoyed, and I want other people to watch it. But it's I don't know if you would call it entertaining because it is just a dark satirical look at suburbia and the American dream.
Wait, hang on.
What movie is it? What's it called again?
Vivarium.
Yes. Oh. Is this the one where they're trying to buy a house?
Yes.
Okay. Jen and I started watching that. I got like halfway through and we were both like, we are so bummed out right now.
It only gets sadder.
Oh my God. Yeah. It presents itself as a horror movie, kind of.
Yeah, it's hard. You needed to get a little bit further because there's a point in the film where shit gets really fucking weird, even though it's already weird at the beginning.
Yeah.
This couple goes to look for a home. They go to this real estate guy who's really creepy and weird, who takes them to this house in a neighborhood filled with greenhouses that all look the same.
Yeah.
He then abandons them there, and now they can't escape the neighborhood. They write notices on the roof for help. The sky is fake. The clouds are fake. Everything is fake, and they realize it. So they're trying to get out, but then they can't, and they get these boxes delivered to them every day with food and stuff. So it's almost like people who get Amazon, you just see boxes in front of their house. So they get like this shrink wrapped food that they eat that's real terrible. And then one day a baby shows up, and so they feel an obligation because it's a living thing. They have to take care of this baby.
That's where we got, was to the baby, and then we were like, ugh.
But if you hated the child in the Babadook, this kid's a close second, because all he does is scream, and the actor is fantastic, but you really only have like 4 people in the whole film. The 2 leads and this kid, and the kid screaming, it will drive you. It's maddening. And they realize they have to feed it, so they have to like make cereal real fast, and they're both kind of snapping under the pressure. And they have like one beautiful moment that's, kind of really nice, but they're trapped in this, and how they get out how it resolves itself is insane and sad, and I want people to watch it so I can talk about it with them.
Oh, God.
It's spelled very weirdly too.
It is, yeah.
I think it's a play on it. I think it's a play on like the aquarium, but they gotta live there.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's like. So can I add a counter, like an aperitif to?
Sure. I mean, we're about to cleanse our palate real good with the next conversation, but go ahead.
True. Well, I was just gonna say. So the one thing I watched this week, and I just want to highly recommend it for all the right reasons, is and again, this was done before the strike. The season finale of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because if you've been listening to their podcast, which I've been since I think it first started, they will often talk about just random shit in their lives. And they hinted when they were writing the new season that one of the stories they told in the podcast would be turned into an episode. And it's this one. It is, oh my God, why did I just blank on his name? Dennis. Dennis takes a mental health day. And it is primarily focused on him. And it resolves around a real thing that happened to Glenn
Howerton
in life. He drives a Tesla, and one day he and a friend were going to like see a film or something, and they parked underground in the underground garage. And when they came back from the movie, they had no cell reception, meaning his key fob didn't work, and he couldn't use his phone to unlock his car. And so this whole episode revolves around Dennis just fed up with everyone. He goes and he buys a smartwatch so he can track his heart rate. And he just decides he's just going to go to the beach. And he rents a car. It's an all-electric car. And just hijinks ensue from there. And it just gets to a point where it is... The real point of the episode is, let's take Dennis, who is the most crazed psychopath in the world, to the furthest extreme possible. And it is one of the best episodes I've ever seen of Sunny. So
wow.
Yeah. Really good. And you don't really need it's kind of that perfect gem of an episode where it's not playing off a lot of the lore. So you can just throw someone right in and just say, just watch this. Right.
Interesting to say that Always Sunny is deep with lore, but
I know it is, but it really is, which is kind of what makes the bowling episode. If you're a longtime fan that's seen everything, it's really fun to watch, but you can't show it to a new person because all the side characters are there. And you need to know their histories to understand why they are acting and look the way they do, right? So, Anyway.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
So this week, we're going to talk briefly about this week we had the 15th anniversary of my all-time favorite movie, The Dark Knight. It came out opposite, which is really interesting. It came out opposite Mamma Mia. and now we have Barbie and Oppenheimer. So
Do we have a term for those that went to go see Dark Knight and Mamma Mia on the same day? Is it
no, I don't. Yeah, these titles are not as good as Barbenheimer.
yeah?
Right?
I'll think about it. Go on.
Yeah, we'll never get. But I mean, this is, like I said, this is my favorite film ever. So what I wanted to talk, not so much about the film. And first of all, we're gonna crack one for the Dark Knight. But don't worry, it's just a liquid death. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But
Did we get
yeah,
sponsors?
what I wanted to discuss was not so much the film itself, because I think it's been done to death, and maybe one day we'll revisit it. Maybe when we're ranking our Christopher Nolan movies. But what I wanted to talk about was, do you guys remember your experience of going to see The Dark Knight? Because I very vividly remember. So, Clay, I saw you nodding pretty hard. So we're gonna start with you. Tell us a little bit about your road to Dark Knight.
I got to experience it in IMAX.
Oh,
And so that whole opening scene gave me vertigo.
I bet. Yeah, absolutely.
Just when they're shooting the guns, preparing for the heist, the drive, everything coming together, and you're just looking at the screen, and it was just amazing.
Was
Like-
it the AMC in Mesquite, or where'd you go?
No, Web Chapel.
Oh, the big. Oh, that's the real.
Yeah,
that's a real
yeah,
IMAX.
that's the real IMAX one.
That's
Like
yeah.
what? Sensory 5 in Web Chapel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
only place you can watch the 70 millimeter cut of Oppenheimer in this area.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've been looking into it because I want to check it out in 70 millimeters. Anyway, sorry, Clay, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. But I can say that is like one of the most memorable movie experiences because of IMAX. I've watched it over and over again, but I still remember sitting in the theater and then like having to hold on to my chair because you just feel dizzy from the way that thing is shot.
It's so funny. I've only seen 2 mainstream movies at IMAX, and in one of them, which was
Get down.
yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, she just made me lose my train of thought. What? Daniel
Your IMAX.
Day-Lewis.
Gangs of New York,
No.
My Left
Lincoln.
Foot,
The
Last of the
they-
Mohicans.
Yes, that's it. That opening scene where he's running through the forest, it gave me a blinding headache, and I also
wow.
felt like a lot of vertigo during that scene. The other one was the horrible Tim Burton Willy Wonka reboot.
Oh God.
So Jeff chiming in there. It's only about 19 or 20
Wow.
true IMAX screens. Yeah. I'm glad we have one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then there are fake ones that are just basically kind of blown up screens that
Right.
don't really fit
Like
the
all
true
the
and they
AMCs
call it
around.
IMAX.
All the AMCs around have a baby IMAX. You know what also used to have an IMAX, like a real IMAX? The Science Place, I think, at
Yeah,
the Fair Park.
It did. And then they moved. And I don't think at the new Perot Museum it's a true IMAX,
No, I
but
don't
the
think so
old
either.
Science Museum did.
I think the Smithsonian has a true IMAX.
I'm sure they
do. The science one, I forget the full name. Science and
Oh
Aerodynamics.
yeah. Shit,
Because
yeah.
when I went to DC in 2018, they were showing First Man, the Ryan Gosling movie, on IMAX at the Smithsonian IMAX. I mean, it makes sense. It's space and aeronautic. Like,
That First Man.
Oh.
Okay.
yeah.
It's like the Barbie movie.
Yeah, they're trying. Oh man, I would love to see that.
Can you imagine all the pink on the screen during the
Oh.
Barbie movie in IMAX?
Yeah.
Well,
Kyle,
I can
go
relate
ahead.
my experience, but
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
it risks me being thrown out of the group. The only Nolan Batman movie I did not see in the theater was Dark Knight.
Wow.
That's it. He's done.
I'm gonna help him out.
Just kidding, Josh.
The only Nolan film I ever saw of Batman was Batman Begins in the theater.
Right, you're out too.
Now it was in. I can't recall why. I think it was specifically
Because you hate cinema.
Well, no,
Okay,
I
this
think-
is 2008, and we haven't. I mean, we're just getting Iron Man this year. We haven't had the comic book movies, that we could appreciate. And YouTube passed on this in the theater.
Well, no. See, I needed the year because when Batman Begins came out, we weren't parents yet. and my wife and I went to go see it, and
yeah.
she loves the Nolan Batman movies. And then Dark Knight came out, and our daughter was 2, so we
Yeah.
were not going to the theater to see that, but we did
So
watch
you can blame
it
it on his
on
kid.
Blu-ray. So, and then I saw the third one. Hazel. I saw the third one opening night with some friends. God, when? Yeah,
You really bungled it.
I really did, because the one I would want to see in theaters is the best one, which is Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, just the hospital shot. I mean, there's so many shots that I think are just so cinematic
Yeah.
because Nolan, and you want to see. I mean, oh man.
It's the first time I realized that the aspect ratio changed throughout the film, because not everything is shot on the IMAX format, right? But
Right.
some stuff is. So,
Is
Kyle,
it-
do you have
is it-
any experience of watching it the first time? I hope it wasn't like on a phone or a PSP or something.
No, it was on my laptop.
Oh,
God!
I
Don't.
watched it on a big screen TV. What the fuck?
You never had a big screen TV.
Kyle
Even
watched
now?
it on the what's the viewfinder?
That's what it's called, Viewfinder.
It was like he had to replace many of this to get to the whole
Kyle,
movie.
Kyle went really old school. He didn't see the movie. He just bought the Topps trading cards and just went through them one by
How'd
one.
you know?
He read the novelization of the film and then read the Wikipedia to make sure.
Oh my god.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about my road to Dark Knight. So I actually went to the IMAX that Clay went to watch I Am Legend, because they were showing the first 5 minutes of The Dark Knight as a preview.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, because I love I Am Legend, so I saw it there. We probably were at the same theater.
Maybe, yeah. Little did we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know each other back then, I don't think.
Not in
No.
08. I don't think.
Not in 08, no. So then I mean I was really hyped for this movie. I like Batman Begins. I like it a lot more after watching The Dark Knight, because I think that's kind of like how the trilogy is built. But man, I remember we went to the AMC in North Park opening night. Like we were there at midnight and standing in line, because that was before you could buy like before you could get
assigned
seats,
seats.
right?
Yeah.
Assigned seating. And we were in the top of the North Park, because you can go in through the IMAX, you can go in through the top floor or the bottom. So the line, they moved everybody up to the top to keep the theater kind of clear, I guess. And man, we got out of there like it's a really long movie, and I was in college at the time. We left. We went back to UT Dallas, to where one of my buddies lived, and we downloaded the movie so we could watch it again. I'm not proud of it, but between theater and other means of watching the film, I think I watched it like 7 times that week.
Wow.
Like it was just on repeat. I did eventually get it loaded onto my PSP. That's why I made the joke about to Kyle earlier, because I did eventually get it.
I just can't imagine watching it on a screen like this big, and then he's rappelling down to a building, and
he runs out of the screen like you run out of room. But yeah, it was like even afterwards, even when the movie was coming out into Blu-ray, like we went to Blockbuster at midnight because they had a release for the Blu-ray where you could get the little collector's edition with the Bat Pod.
yeah,
I have almost every version of the movie they put out, like in whatever Blu-ray format. Oh,
did you get the DVD one that's like the Batman face on it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking up there because that's where I keep them.
I think I have mine. Let me grab it.
I'll have to check. I want to address Jeff's comment in a little.
I was, because for some reason in my brain, I thought it was. Sorry, go ahead and show it first.
No, yeah. So Jeff mentions not to bring it down. Oh, you already did, Jeff. So I'm just kidding. The Colorado shooting that happened during one of the early screenings, it did make it weird. Like it definitely did.
I recall that being top of mind even when I went to go see the third one.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think I
Oh,
have that one, Clay. I need
that
to
is
hunt that
cool.
down.
Weird.
Oh yeah.
How do you even shelve that?
It's up there with all my Batman stuff in one
Gotcha,
area, and
alright.
it's laying against Catwoman.
Hey now.
It's a double feature you don't want to see.
Or maybe
Don't
I mean
you?
I would. I'm just saying, you know.
Well, I can't wait. Mark watched Catwoman for the first time, so we're going to be talking about that on our
Oh, the
podcast.
Halle Berry one?
Yes.
Oh,
I've never seen it. I can't bring myself to do
we've
it.
already covered
Oh.
it enough on this show. We've covered it too much.
It's worth one viewing just to goof on it.
Is it?
Basketball scene.
Oh, man.
That's all I'm going to say.
It's better in clips. Just watch the highlights.
Can I
but-
just watch? Can I just watch the whole thing on TikTok, as the kids do these days?
As the kids
I'm
do.
sure somebody's put it up there.
I'm sure.
All right, well that's it. I just wanted to touch on the Dark Knight. Is there anything else, y'all? Because obviously Chris Nolan's on top of mind.
Well, I mean, he kind of redefined superhero movies because at the
Yeah.
time we just had a bunch of like origin films. We had X-Men films, but 2008 was the beginning of the MCUs, and he had taken Batman and put it into a noir movie. He didn't. Yeah, he wasn't playing in the superhero as a genre. He was playing in the crime world with superheroes, and that. I mean, if we don't have that, we don't have the Batman movie we have now from Matt Reeves, which
absolutely.
which I put above the Nolan films.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. I agree with you, except Dark Knight's still top of the list. If you just take Dark Knight out of the trilogy, it is just a perfect representation, I think, of what makes the Batman Joker relationship so terrifying.
Kyle wouldn't know because he still hasn't seen the Batman.
No.
What?
Even though he's wearing a Batman shirt, I just saw that you're wearing a Batman shirt.
Dude,
Not a
I'm
morning
telling you, the Batman is a great movie.
It is very upsetting.
I watched it again when I was in the hospital. It's awesome.
I even love the score. I really need to get it on vinyl because
Michael
it
Giacchino
is one of
really-
the better
really
better
nailed it.
Batman scores. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're right. I should do a triple feature.
Yeah.
You know, in my book, it's still the Keaton Batman film is number one.
I mean, I like it. I just rewatched them, but
Because I'm an old fogey, that's what restarted Batman for me.
yeah, but Dark Knight has the best Joker.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll be straight
He's
on. It was a good film, but I didn't think the Dark Knight was worth the hype.
Wow.
I'll be straight up. I'm not a huge fan of the Nolan films.
I almost did a spit take. And
I mean-
and ruined all my equipment.
You have an incredible take on Scarecrow,
Yeah.
Joker, Two-Face. The Two-Face take is incredibly realistic and amazing because it isn't over the top like Tommy Lee Jones. It's a different take that I love, and
What-
but
and
my
it's steeped in
complaint-
reality. and
What I
in
like
real
about
crime.
Two-Face is he's wasted in that movie. Totally wasted.
What I
Yeah.
like about the Dark Knight is it's a remake of Michael Mann's Heat.
Well, only the opening.
No, the whole film.
No.
Well, and
No.
this new Batman film is a remake of Zodiac or Seven or both of them. So like,
Never
Yeah.
saw Zodiac.
There's a
if you
lot
never
of
see,
stuff.
well, first of all,
Seven.
you should watch Zodiac.
So I
Zodiac
think
is
seven. I
good.
saw seven in the theater.
Yeah, Zodiac's really good. But if you like Seven, you're gonna like the new Batman film.
Fuck
Yeah,
yes.
you will. You
I
will.
mean,
it's
I love the way he plays with the panels in the frame. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole Catwoman sequence that's incredible that looks like it came right out of year one.
I mean, the opening sequence too, like where we kind of get a big misdirect. That's a lot of fun too. Just
yeah, that is a lot of fun.
to
It's man, I need to go rewatch it now.
let's
Yeah.
You know
do
what?
it.
I might just jump to that for the next Batman movie I watch with Hazel, and then we'll go back to the Nolan one. So
I mean, there is just a mystique about the aesthetic that Matt Reeves creates in that Batman world that I want to live in. It's dark, it's gloomy, but it's also Bruce Wayne figuring out things, and I love that aspect of telling a Batman story.
and I will say this as well, Kyle, because I think I said this on the show when we talked about it. It is the first Batman movie since Batman '89 with the amazing set design by Alan First that feels like a fully realized Gotham.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, Nolan never hits that because it changes every fucking film,
Yeah.
right? Based on where he's filming. Because tragically of First's death, we didn't get that translated over into Batman Returns, so it felt more like a Burton place. Everything felt like a set.
Yeah.
The Gotham realized in Batman 89 and the Gotham realized in the Batman both feel like real places.
How do you feel about the snow Batmobile running down the arm of those large Gothic statues in Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
You can fuck right off.
I had those. I had one
Joel
of those.
Schumacher films are
Batmobiles.
awesome.
I had one of those Bat snowmobiles, and I saw,
No.
I saw
was.
one at the. I went to
brought
that
some of the
toy
last
show.
Go ahead.
I went to that toy show, Kyle, and I saw it, and I almost bought that stupid Batmobile snow from that movie, and I was like, because I had it and I wanted it. I want to have
That makes sense. What I will say is, I almost want to give Batman Forever another chance, only on the forefront. I think I mentioned this last. Well, hold on. This the last time I think I mentioned, or maybe I didn't. Kevin Smith actually showed a cut of the uncut original format of the movie that Joel Schumacher was supposed to, and apparently it's supposed to make it's a totally different film.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Yeah.
And like he showed it in his Smog Castle theaters, and I want that now that he said all the stuff makes sense. Like the studio made Joel Schumacher go back and recut the whole beginning of the film, so it's like I almost kind of want to see the original format just to see how it might have changed from the original what he wanted.
Yeah, I watched that episode too. I want to check that out as well.
Yeah.
Also, can somebody just leak Batgirl so we can watch it?
Oh shit!
Right. Yeah. I mean,
There's got to be somewhere. I know it's somewhere in some kind of drive still. They're definitely not like trashing
I mean,
it.
David,
but-
there's the only
no
thing
way
good
they
about
deleted
Flash.
that.
I mean, you think about it, it has to be used as a tax write-off, so they have to destroy it so that no one can see it because they cannot profit off
They're
of
not
it.
going to destroy.
But
it.
I wonder. Look, San Diego Comic-Con, and you can use this as a transition. San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now. I wonder. It's the first big con since that happened. I wonder if bootlegs will start showing up there, and we'll start seeing them.
Shit, that would be awesome.
Right. And
Interesting.
with that,
And with
I would
that,
be
we move on
glad.
to the next segment of our show.
yeah, you guys go ahead. I gotta take.
All
the
right,
kiddo.
Josh. Thank you very
All right,
much. We'll
No
see
problem.
everybody.
You guys take
See ya.
care.
All right. So as Josh mentioned before, he graciously left us. San Diego Comic Con's going on, and I put together some news that we could talk about, and just see, get excited about. This is all really comic book stuff. Like I said,
Because Comic-Con is about comics because so
about the
many
comics.
Well,
yeah, so many
it sounds like it's
places-
actually back to being about comics since we have the strike and everything going on. So
Yeah, there's no
This is
Marvel booth.
this
no
is one
WB
that I'm
booth.
like.
oh my
Had I known this was going to happen, I would have tried a little harder to go.
So, I think it's funny. My friend Sonny, who's an actor out in LA, he actually goes to Comic Con every year, and so he's actually. Do you guys know the name Robert Meyer Burnett? So he was one of the directors and creators of Free Enterprise.
Oh yeah.
He's actually also one of the characters is based on him. He actually has the Robert Meyer. He's an independent movie director and writer, but he also has his own YouTube channel with all the different shows and everything. So he's actually really big. He just panels there. My friend Sonny is friends with him. He sat with him at his panel, was out with him to talking about stuff afterwards. Randomly, a certain comic book creator and toy creator comes up to him, and he posts the video. He's posting a video of Tom McFarlane talking to them at the con. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been to Comic-Con like 3 or 4 times, going back all the way to '97,
Yeah.
and I will say that it's not worth attending now.
Okay.
Just because when I went in '97, you could go to any panel, you could go anywhere, everything was accessible. You didn't have to wait in line. When I went in like 2008, it was a nightmare of just you're packed in with people. You would have to go wait in line for panels. That was when the lines started to create. I remember when Twilight hit Comic-Con, they had like lines out into the grass because they were having lines of people just wanting to see the Twilight panel at Hall H. if you've never been, it's worth going once, but I really am not sure.
Not on my own money. I'm not going.
Yeah, but cost wise, it's
Like,
so expensive just to
Sonny
get a
got a free
hotel
badge,
in walking distance.
Yeah, he was able to get a free badge from a friend who actually runs his own Comic Con, but also has tables there. So he got like he had a place to stay and got a free badge for it. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But if something like that happened, I'd be okay. But I'm not going to spend my money, especially when there's a lottery to get in. There's not just for the badges, but for the hotels and everything. It's like,
Yeah, I remember having to compete in that, and it was horrible because you're online just hitting refresh, trying to get into a room.
So we need to get more famous, so they'll bring us onto Comic-Con. All right. So the first bit of news I wanted to talk about is we're getting a new Punisher. Like a completely new character that's not Frank Castle. I haven't read the ending of Jason Aaron's run, so I don't know what happened to Frank Castle and why we got a new Punisher. But they released this. It's a new Punisher. It's a former agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
of course it is.
That becomes the Punisher. I like the design and the team behind it. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. The new Punisher will be penned by David Pepose, who just did the Moon Knight that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And drawn by Dave Watcher, who's doing Planet of the Apes. So
good.
I think the book at least is in good hands.
Yeah.
Creatively. So the name of the Punisher is Joe Garrison, who's a different name, but it's the same mission as Frank.
Yeah, I'm curious how this came about, and so it's all in the latest Jason Aaron run.
So I think in the latest Jason Aaron run, it explains why Frank Castle won't be the Punisher going forward. I've only read up until the first volume when they're setting up some kind of crossover thing, but so the purpose behind this is to bring Johnny Blaze's Danny Ketch, kind of like when that mantle got passed on. So I don't know. I think Danny Ketch also caught an unfair. I thought it was a fun character and it's an unfair backlash, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm the Punisher's not like one of the books I usually read like right away.
I usually read it collected.
Yeah, there's a lot of really fun stories.
The last time I did issues was probably Welcome Back Frank when Ennis was doing it.
Yeah, so
a long time ago.
The next bit of news, this is actually very exciting, at least to me. Is that legendary artist Greg Capullo is back in Marvel.
He's gonna be doing Wolverine.
He's gonna be. So I think this is just a cover. I don't know how deep. I don't know if he's gonna be doing sequential work. But this is just kind of a cover that.
But if you just had him doing covers, man.
I mean, I'm not mad at that.
What's your dream book for him to be on?
I mean, Wolverine's not a bad start.
I'd love to see him do some Moon Knight.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Man, I don't know.
An Avengers run.
I want like a Swamp Thing or a Howling Commandos, maybe.
Oh shit, a Howling Commandos would be awesome.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, no, they're doing one.
I meant Man Thing.
No, they just announced they're doing a new. It might be a limited series, but a new Captain America book. It's Wolf Captain America with the Howling Commandos.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen that Cap Wolf image floating around.
Yeah, Stephanie Phillips is gonna be doing that one, which is really cool. So yeah. I mean, Greg Capullo doing some stuff. This is the cover for Wolverine 37. So stay tuned for more news on Greg Capullo. I think he's also doing a cover for a Deadpool anthology book. Now the next bit of news that.
Hold on, I have one other request. I would love to see him do a Squirrel Girl. Greg Capullo does Squirrel Girl.
The full fight on how she beats Thanos.
Yes.
All right, this will be right up Kaz alley. DC just announced a partnership with Legendary for a comics crossover called the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
This will be cool, but who's the Justice League team in this book?
Let's see. So in this picture, we can see a couple of Green Lanterns, Hawkgirl, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Jessica's there as a Green Lantern. Hawkgirl.
I think that's Simon in the back.
This is weird.
I like Drew Johnson. I'm not familiar with Johnson's art. That will be interesting. Let's see. Who's writing this? Brian Buccellato. I like Brian Buccellato's work.
You know,
From The Flash, Injustice, Detective Comics.
this almost I'd forgotten the book had come out, but I forgot they did a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This
I
kind of
do
reminds me of
remember
that.
Okay, so this is Christian Deucework. I don't know how to say that last name. It's interesting because I think we all know that the real fight's not going to be between these three, right?
Yeah.
I think something else is going to come along. So I can't wait to see, like, I don't know, Darkseid riding on the back of King Ghidorah or something like that.
That would be awesome.
There was one more here. I should show you this one. This one's pretty good, actually. Some pretty interior art. Like, I like this Godzilla. It looks pretty menacing.
Yeah, I think you have to have A-list Justice League on this. You can't have B-listers because there's no way
That's
like
A-list.
Booster and Beetle are taking that
It's the
down.
main cast with the secondary characters on there. I mean, Supergirl was in the picture, but you had Clark, you had Bruce, you had Diana, you had Barry, you had Hal.
Especially since there's no Justice League right now.
I know.
technically. But that's pretty good. I mean, Supergirl's here, the Flash. There's more Green Lanterns. The Rogues.
What the God? What the fuck are they doing?
Oh, this is interesting now. Okay.
You had me at Rogues.
Yeah. Yeah, that's these are
Oh, look at those covers.
yeah, this is the back of the I like this. I really like this Godzilla redesign.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too. So
Did it say when it's coming out?
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Let's see. I think it's November. I might have read that somewhere. Yeah, November.
Okay.
Gatefold variant covers, which I think it's these three that open up like they open up both ways or whatever.
That is cool.
That's pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff. I haven't kept up with everything Comic-Con, but I was definitely really in for that. Let's see. There's some Batman stuff at Comic-Con. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's talk about the Eisner Awards.
Yeah.
Because I saw a bunch of pictures of people winning, and that made me feel very good because these are a lot of people that I like. So here, let's go. I'm using Comics Beat. That was the look. I'll say these comics websites sometimes they put out articles that like are nonsense because they're not real news of like there's no real news happening, but like they're in Comic-Con, they're on top of their shit. Like these guys at Bleeding Cool, comicbook.com, like they're all on top. Like they're on top of everything. So at least
I would prefer Comics Beat over Bleeding Cool.
Yeah, I think overall, but I mean, Bleeding Cool was doing. I saw a lot of their like they cover a lot of panels that sometimes like maybe these they don't have the bandwidth to cover. I don't know. So some highlights: Stan Sakai winning best lettering for Usagi Yojimbo, which I love to see. I mean, and he had some really great competition, but Stan Sakai's a legend. So
yeah. How many? He should have a bunch of Eisners. How many does he have?
Man, I don't think we have. I don't think it's as detailed as like an Oscar. Looking for that. If you want to try to check it out. Best digital comic: Scott Snyder and Tula Lote for Barnstormers, which is now on print. Like if you want to check that out.
He has 6.
6? Wow. Feels like too little. Feels like he should have more. Then we have Best Writer, which look at this list: Chip Zdarsky, Mark Russell, Tom King, Grace Ellis. But the winner, James Tynion IV, who writes every imaginable comic. Which Kyle, did you see he's going to be doing the Universal Monsters Dracula book?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I I loved his DC stuff, but once he started doing all his indie stuff, that's where he shines because he loves the dark horror.
Yeah. Best writer artist, this is a book I've been wanting to read, and maybe this will finally push me to do it. Kate Beaton for Ducks, 2 Years in the Oil Sands.
I've heard that's a fantastic book.
Same. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but there's some really good books. Like I love this Zoe Thurgood book. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth was amazing. Junji Ito, like another legend. So, best covers, Bruno Redondo, which is doing which did the art for the book that Clay read today, the Leap into the Light for the Nightwing.
Oh God, just that I can't explain how much the art in that book almost surpassed the story at times.
Yeah.
Because it just glued you to the page.
Yeah. They do some really fun, like I want you to keep reading because they do some really interesting things. Like there's an issue that it's all like a continuous shot kind of, which is a really interesting thing to do in a comics. There's an issue that's all done from Nightwing's point of view, so like it's kind of like a first person.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and he beat out, Jen Bartel, Alex Ross, Sana Takeda, Zoe Thurgood. So like good company here. Why is this marked as yeah, that's just good. That's just good cover art. Oh, you guys can't see it.
Nope. It's like going, is it going to show? Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Publication for kids. I'm going to skip some of these kids ones. Best publication for teens, Do a Powerbomb by Daniel Warren Johnson, who's going to be taking over the Transformers stuff. Very excited for that.
Loved his Beta Ray Bill stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a cool series. And even though he didn't draw it, the Jurassic League from DC Comics.
Oh, yeah.
Best pencil inker team, Greg Smallwood for the Human Target.
Dude, those were fantastic. I
Tom
love
King
his work.
Yeah.
And it was perfect for that story.
Mm-hmm. Jordi Belair won Best Colorist, which makes, I mean, yeah, she's in everything. Sana Takeda won for the Night Eaters for Best Painter or Multimedia Artist for Interiors, which takes a lot to do interiors. Shit. There we go. I don't know why it's covering some of those up. I think those are the. Let's see. I'm looking for best short. There we go. Best single one shot. I knew this was gonna win because it was my choice, but Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler. Like, I kind of call that since it came out. So, best new series, Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky. If you haven't read that, it's really good. But we also talk about Love Everlasting, Traveling to Mars, the Mark Russell book. Yeah, really good stuff. Best limited series, once again, The Human Target. Man, Tom King really had a good night.
His books are fantastic. Like, I mean, I know he breaks it down to it's this superhero, but sad.
Yeah.
But like, you really are curious with each time he takes over a book, what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't read any of his Batman stuff. That's the only thing is like I picked up all his like miniseries.
And then best continuing series, Nightwing by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. So gives you a good reason to keep reading. Clay.
That first volume is it's really amazing. The only thing that threw me off was I didn't understand how Barbara was walking. Like that was never explained. It was just like she was Oracle, but now she doesn't have a wheelchair. Which in that world of like, super high tech stuff, it really doesn't make sense that, she would be disabled like that.
And then we have a few inductees to the Hall of Fame. Brian Boland, of course, Ann Nocenti, who's doing a new book for Marvel recently. I think she's doing a Captain Marvel book right now.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember seeing that on the shelf.
Tim Sale. I mean, I can't believe he wasn't in there already.
R.I.P. Tim Sale. So good.
Yeah.
And most people discovered his art through Heroes, the TV show.
Yeah. Diana Schutz. I don't know. I don't know that name. And then there's a. I don't know what the difference is between by vote and then the whole list. So maybe these were all the people that were nominated, and not everybody got in.
I'm not sure.
And then the best newcomer award goes to Zoe Thurgood. So cool. That's the Eisner talk. When Clay gets back, we'll take a look at a trailer. Kyle, since you haven't been on in a little while, I don't think. Have you seen The Flash?
Yeah, I finished it off. Wait. The live action, the movie or the TV show?
I guess both.
I finished off the TV show. It was what it was. I haven't seen the movie yet.
I only watched the last 5 episodes, which is kind of like the real conclusion to everything. What did you think of the ending?
It was what it was. It wasn't anything special. They stop everybody, and then he decides to bring in a couple more speedsters, Max Mercury. It wasn't horrible.
So I had never heard of, and this is a big spoiler, Blue Cobalt.
Really?
Like I had to go look it up in the comics in the internet because I was like, who the fuck? And the character's got a very convoluted story too. So.
Well, come on. You compare Savitar's history from the comic book to the TV show.
Zoom.
Even Zoom was,
yeah. Even Godspeed, that's such a new character, was so different from the comics. So
exactly.
They really just grabbed, but it was nice. It was kind of the ending of the Arrowverse because.
That's officially it. There's nothing. What I'm really disappointed in is the fact, and I know we're getting a 4th season of Lois and Clark, but the fact they're not bringing back any of the secondary characters kind of bothers me.
Yeah. That's so weird. Such a weird approach because I think a lot of those characters are what make the show a lot more interesting, right?
Exactly. It was a whole ensemble cast. It wasn't just Lois, Clark, and the 2 sons. It was everybody in that show.
As much as I love Lois and Clark in that show, like they need everybody around them.
Exactly.
So, it's not like I know one of the sons was replaced, but that was because the actor, they had some issues and they wanted to separate from the show. That's different from like the studio just saying like, oh, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut back on costs by not having all these people.
I like how they make Bizarro Doomsday.
That was weird.
They teased him being Doomsday in season 2. We find out it's Bizarro, and then he eventually becomes Doomsday. It's like, huh.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that still. I don't know. I feel like, Smallville also did both Doomsday and Bizarro in a really interesting way.
Yeah, I'm okay with the way they did. Well, I'm okay with how they at least handled Bizarro. Doomsday was a whole other story in Smallville.
Although it was cool that it was Sam Worthington, I think.
Yeah,
that was cool. Like I was like, he's got to be somebody, but I didn't think they would go in that direction until they revealed it.
And I'm not surprised one freaking bit the fact that they canceled Gotham Knights.
I like that show. I thought it was fun.
Watch any of it.
I thought it was fun. I was one of the people that was saying maybe they shouldn't cancel it, but it is what it is. So now, did you watch the movie, The Flash?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've seen bits and parts, but like apparently it's going to even be a bigger loss for Warner Brothers than Green Lantern,
which is wild.
I know.
Oh, The Flash.
Yeah. So Green Lantern, yay!
Now you can watch all the.
No.
Yes. Green Lantern rocks.
I still took a friend to that and had to apologize when the movie ended and said, "I'm sorry I brought you to this."
My friend was like, "I'll never read comics. If this is what you think is good, I'll never read comics."
Yeah, exactly. I've apologized for 2 comic book movies I took friends to, and one was Green Lantern and one was the Extraordinary
League of Extraordinary
Gentlemen.
You apologize for that? Compared to the comic book, the movie's horrible. But other than that, if you just count it as like an action film, I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. The spirit's pretty bad, Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we did a
Oh,
whole show on-
Dude, the Spirit, I would be like, no.
I've never been able to finish The Spirit.
Oh my god.
If you wanna go back and check out what we thought of those bad movies, you can. It's somewhere in our catalog.
And need we talk about Halle Berry's Catwoman?
No,
I think it's good bad. I think it's so bad that it's funny and you can watch it and laugh at it.
You are high. If you think
I
that
am.
movie- if you think
That's
that
probably
movie
part of
Green
it.
Lantern, Green Lantern trounces that fucking film.
Green Lantern tries to like his Hal is not Hal. First of all, that's
Yeah,
the
valid
biggest mistake because he is nothing like Hal.
Well, yeah, but I'll say this much here. I'm not hating on the actor. I think he did a great Flash, but Grant Gustin was not Barry. He was Wally.
Right? Yeah, you're very right about that. You know, I think that they're bad adaptations of characters that I sometimes feel like it helps or hurts the story. And Hal has to be Hal for Green Lantern to work, and he's not, and it's just bad.
I'm okay with the film.
well, I hope DC.
I didn't apologize for it, so nah.
Well, I mean, if you look at, story wise, it's ridiculous because you have Parallax killing Green Lantern at the beginning, then you have Hal go to train, refuse to train, and then is still able to beat Parallax. So you're saying that if he doesn't train, he's still more powerful than other Green Lanterns that have been at this and worked, and this has been their life.
Because
he
better
he
willpower.
knew fear.
Yeah, that movie's just bad. Like the best thing about it was the joke that was in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
And it would be even funnier if in Deadpool 3 they go back and shoot him again just to make sure that it never happens. So,
well, here's one for you. Since we got, I know it's not, it stopped production because of the writer's strike. But what's your opinion on Hugh Jackman being an official costume for Deadpool 3?
I love it. I love seeing the costumes. I love, we never got that. I want to see him in the mask. I want to see the whole I want to see the brown costume. I want to see the yellow, but he doesn't have like the black stripes that were on the side of the original one.
I want to kick the internet because people are bitching because he's got sleeves in that costume. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I want to see Patch.
Oh, fuck yeah. I want to see Patch. I want to see Old Man Logan. They have to do an Old Man Logan joke.
Maybe. We already get the movie, so there's no reason why we need the TV.
Yeah, I feel like that one's the one I wouldn't want to see because the movie, just leave that alone.
Yeah.
That part of it, leave it alone.
But Deadpool will acknowledge that it exists, so he will do something, and I'm sure we'll make a joke.
Reassure me that part is sacred, at least.
Yeah, I do love that movie. This is the one thing that bummed me out was in talking about it with Aaron, the guy who runs my comic shop, Urban Legends. He pointed out that Wolverine would never let Charles get to that point in Logan, that he would have killed him, comic version of Logan. And I'm like, yeah, he probably would have. We would have never had this movie. This is a different
sometimes
Logan.
Wolverine's away.
But Wolverine he's a killer. Like I talked about in Secret Invasion, he'll stab a bitch just to prove you're a Skrull, and if you're not, he does it to people he knows that will heal.
I'm gonna get defend a little more. And I remember this line. I think it was issue 4 of New Avengers. But he's a samurai. Iron Man explains why they need him on the team, but he's a samurai. He he's a hero, but he'll do what others can't when they need to be done.
Yeah, yeah. I like him in the team dynamic, but I like him solo. His character does change quite a bit during different time periods, depending on where he's at.
Like him as a school teacher.
I loved him mentoring Kitty Pryde as a ninja. That's just a wild ass story to look back on now. But I do love him and Jubilee, him as that kind of mentor.
He's always been good as a mentor. I mean, he had it slightly with Rogue. He had it with Kitty. He had it with Jubilee.
He was a mentor to Kamala Khan, in her first few issues, back in the day, which is really weird. And this brings me to the point. I talked about this when I was doing the Secret Invasion review, the latest one. It suffers from you're building up all this tension with Nick Fury, right, in this show, but then you're gonna
drop. I don't feel much of tension at
even
all.
Then that's what they're trying to do. But then you show me a trailer where he's okay in the Marvels, which I haven't even seen the trailer. I just know he's all over the trailer. So I'm where it's this like what Marvel just did. They killed Kamala Khan, and then like a week later, they started releasing a bunch of like covers with like her being back as a mutant.
Well, no, yeah, but did you hear what's going to be about the book? It's
Oh.
actually it's gonna be written by the actress who plays Kamala in the TV series.
Yeah,
I
I
did see
did hear
that.
about that, which that's nice, but I don't know. I don't know if she needs to be a mutant.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does.
Just make the Inhumans good.
No,
I'm sorry, but that's impossible.
I'm done with the Inhumans. Don't get me wrong. I don't want the Inhumans to go away, but I'm done with them. No, Marvel has access to the mutants again before they change everything. Hopefully, we're going to retcon the whole thing of where Magneto's back to being Wanda and Pietro's father again. I want everything back to the way. I want the X-Men done with their Krakoa bullshit, because I'm done with the X-Men right
Well, I
now.
mean,
It's so over-
that's why they're bringing Kamala back. So, like, I don't know. I don't think they have any plans to stop Krakoa for a while.
God, I hope they do. Because I mean, I want them back again. I want them back as school teachers in a mansion in Westchester, teaching teens how to use their powers.
I feel like when we get the Secret Wars movie, we're going to get mutants, but we're going to get Krakoa. We're going to get the
Maybe.
Krakoa version of them because because it's almost that next level of superhero. If you have these mutants who cannot can't die, what does that mean? Because I mean, we've had so many characters come back to life in comics. What if it's just accepted that they can't die?
Maybe.
But I mean, I do prefer the old school X-Men. I like them fighting crime, living out of a school, and
I was explaining to a friend last night what they're doing with Hank McCoy, and he was like, "I'm done." Like, that's such bullshit. I'm like, I cannot believe he's this fucking dark. Like, no, bring back the. I want my Hank McCoy is the lovable furry beast.
Yeah.
With Wolverine hair from the '90s X-Men.
They do. Somebody at Marvel office hates Hank McCoy. I will admit that much. Somebody just fucking hates him, and ever since I don't know if it started when Morrison gave him a second mutation.
What, he looked like Tony the Tiger?
Yeah, I thought he looked
where
like
kind of kept
Garfield.
evolving. So, all right.
I have the figure of him that has that look, but I mean, I collect Hank McCoys because I love Beast. I loved that he was this young kid who was really into science so much he experimented on himself, fucked up, turned himself blue.
Great.
Yeah,
He
great
blew
first. He was with the Avengers during the Perez run. I love that. He had a spinoff with Dazzler, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I loved his time in different teams and just the dynamic of a guy who is so smart, but also a mad scientist on a level that would experiment on himself.
If we're going to talk here, let's not forget him trying to form his own version of the New Defenders.
Yeah, with Angel,
Iceman,
Gargoyle,
Moondragon, and Valkyrie.
Yeah, that such a weird team. Such a weird team. But I love Hank, and I love the original Hank. But he's been around for so long. I mean, look at how they've changed all the characters so much. I mean, look at Bobby Drake. He's not the Bobby Drake that we grew up with.
No,
he's
but he's still Bobby Drake. He may be an Omega level mutant now, but I mean, he's not this evil crackpot, dude that they made Beast into.
Yeah, they already have a Dark Beast. I don't know why they keep making this one Dark.
Yeah. I mean, the real weird twist would be, what if we had an evil Bobby Drake? I mean, a character that you
know how they could fix that? How they could fix Beast? They could make it so that Dark Beast did take over a long time ago, and the real Hank McCoy's been somewhere else, and they can easily bring him back to like the Hank McCoy that's like, oh, my Stars and Garters, and then we can start clean and forget all about this.
Okay, I'm okay with it, but again, that'll be let's see, that was done with Iron Man. That was done with
Good. It works.
He was influenced by Kang, and they had to bring back the younger Iron Man. Then we had Heroes Reborn, and Iron Man comes back as normal Iron Man.
Tried and true.
That Secret Invasion, where I have the scrolls, or it's like
that was crazy. We just read Secret Invasion, and man, all right. Let's close out the show with there's 2 trailers we want to watch. So let's put on. I'm gonna do Clay's first, and then we'll finish up with yours, Kyle. So this is Outlaw Johnny Black. This is from what did I say? I forget the name of the studio. We'll look at it in a minute.
Yeah,
but this is not.
It'll pop up on screen.
Yeah, this is not one of the Struck studios, so that's why we're watching it. Oh, let me know if y'all can hear that once it starts. I don't think there's any sound yet. Oh, yeah. I hope J-Rod's a badass. Shouting that out.
I've been trying to tell y'all Brett Clayton's coming to rob your bank.
Listen, Uncle, shut up!
And I came to put a bullet in him.
My name is Johnny Black. I am no gentleman and I am no preacher.
I thought I would join you for breakfast. Hallelujah.
That man is not what he pretends to be. Didn't the Bible say to turn the other cheek?
I don't know. I mean, probably. Yeah.
I said stop.
Stop me. But it also said you could hit a bully with a slingshot. And this here's mine.
I'm crack shot, Mom.
Well, now you just shot.
I think ain't no preacher at all.
False prophets rose among the people.
You know this vile man, Reverend Fairman?
Reverend Fairman?
I'll be Reverend Fairman, and you'll be my deacon.
Now, why in God's name would I agree to do something like that?
There's oil been found on the property.
Hallelujah. This town is about to come into a whole heap of money.
We must arm ourselves and prepare for the worst.
So I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Let's go.
I say a life worth living is a life worth defending.
I was beginning to think I lost you to another woman.
If you have unforgiveness in your heart, then you are shackled to your past.
Put me down!
Say, turn it loose. Turn it loose.
Turn it loose!
If you don't drop your guns by the end of this sentence.
That wasn't a complete sentence.
Oh, the mayor.
Or Brad from Rocky Horror.
That was the mayor of New York.
I mean, I've seen so many ripoffs. Like there was a scene from what's the I'm blanking on the film.
Blazing Saddles.
Thank you. Yeah, where they punch the horse. Mondo
Yeah, I saw a lot of tributes to old westerns and stuff in there, so I was
I
like,
saw one that it looked like the shakiest gun in the West with Don Knotts.
and it's Michael Jai White. I mean, it's Spawn doing funny shit. I mean, Black Dynamite is
Yeah,
hilarious, and it's the same crew. So
I also like that it's very similar premise to like that Scorsese movie that's gonna come out. The what is it? The Killing of the Wildflower or something like that, where it's like, yeah, oil is discovered, so here come white people to take all the oil because they want all the money.
I mean, I know he's not alive anymore, and only Clay's gonna get the reference. But I was watching the whole thing. I was like, the only thing this film is missing is Scatman Crothers.
oh, Scatman, Hong Kong Phooey.
Uh huh.
People know him from The Shining. He's still iconic from that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I know him from Transformers. He was Jazz.
Yeah. I also had the video that's just a recommendation for anyone.
Well, hold on, we're gonna do the Kyle's video.
Oh yeah, that's right. He had one.
This one's called The Child, which got
Kyle, do you want to give us a little background before we get into the trailer?
So I haven't actually watched the trailer. I've seen the actual film. It was our centerpiece film.
Okay.
It's basically, the premise is you have this guy who's sort of a killer, but not a killer. He's like a guy who is a badass, but he's a crazy dude. Like he always comes in and smiles at you, and he's one of those guys like just psychosis. Like, oh my god, this guy's creepy. Like when he smiles, the badass with guns and everything. He's trying to capture this kid who is basically sort of like a half breed. He's supposed to have he's half Korean, half Filipino. So it kind of it takes the kid. He's a bot. Well, no. You find out the kid, the other main actor. He's being tailed. He's trying to find his father because he's trying to get money with his mom's sick. His mom's Filipino. His dad is Korean. He's never met his dad. So he's in Philippines trying to box. He's like a boxer who does these illegal fights. He's trying to get money, but then all these people start trying to get him because apparently his father is trying to get him, but he needs DNA from him to live. And so it's watch the trailer and see what you guys think. Anyway, and this guy, the crazy psychosis dude, is one of the guys who's trying to capture him.
All right, let's check it out.
Hey, my boy. Know about the big match next week, right?
여기서 서울까지 금방이야.
What the f*** are you? 친구.
난 단 한 번도 타겟을 놓쳐본 적이 없다고. 난 프로거든, 프로. 전문가.
알파리가 제대로 꼬였어.
나 기억나?
오랜만이다. 친구야. 내가 조만간 또 보자 그랬지?
Oh,
That looks pretty intense.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say half breed earlier, but they use a term for sort of like half breed because he's half Filipino, half Korean.
Yeah.
Not full blood. But and the movie just came out. We got just screening for it at the thing, and it's being released by Wellgo USA, which is a company that releases a lot of Asian films here. So it should be on DVD eventually, so or at least on the streaming service, so you guys can watch it. It is worth it. It is fucking
okay,
awesome.
cool.
Nice.
It just looks like it gave me vibes of like what was the Brad Pitt Bullet movie?
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, like the pacing of the film.
It's worth it. It's good.
Oh shit!
That dude has a creepy ass smile.
Told you. And
he was just like really close.
And the opening sequence, it has. I'm not going to give it away. All it has is so apparently he's been targeted. Like the crazy guy has been knocked out and tied up by these goons who are waiting for their boss to get there to get his revenge. And when they're on, when one of the guys on the phone, all hell breaks loose. I'm just going to leave it there. So that's how the film opens up. And so it's fun. It's fucking hilarious to watch how that just kind of goes.
All right.
Clay, you want to set up this other? I mean, this is a 32-minute video.
Oh no, this is just a recommendation for,
okay.
people to watch. This isn't for us to go through. Just because I'm a big fan of Dan Clowes. We've talked about his books. Cartoonist Kayfabe is another comic book channel that does a lot of great videos, and I'm a big fan of theirs. Jim Rugg and Ed Piskor talk about Dan Clowes and the Art of Dan Clowes book. It's just a great video. It's a book I can't afford, so it's great to see them go through it and talk about the different art and the different techniques that Dan used in his art and his covers for. Like if you don't have the New Yorker, he did a ton of covers for that. There is a rejected Bizarro cover that Dan Clowes had done for DC. And I was just like, oh my God, how, and he did a portrait of Todd McFarlane in there with Spawn in the back. So imagine what a Spawn looks like drawn by Dan Clowes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Carl, did you have any recommendations? I mean, we don't have to.
I got one, and I've only seen the first episode, and I was going to ask if you guys have seen it. Have you guys watched any of My Adventures with Superman?
Yes, I love it.
I've only seen the first episode, but I'm enjoying. Yeah, it's an anime version of Superman, but I'm like, okay, I'm down. You know, I'm down with how they're doing this.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's also animation, so I guess it doesn't technically fall under all that stuff we were talking about.
That's why I was wondering. That's why I was curious about.
Yeah,
like,
it's.
the voice acting.
Yeah, I recommend it if you want a fresh take on Superman.
Oh God, yeah.
You still get all the little.
No, my favorite was the second episode aired. I'm watching people on Facebook go, "Wait a second, did I just see Superman do a magical girl chain?"
He's a magical
Yes,
girl.
you did.
Confirmed.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You saw Superman go Sailor Moon. Yes, you did.
We're going to see a lot of new tropes in some American cartoons, and people are going to be like, "Where's that coming from?" Maybe we're going to get an anime wave hit.
Yeah, they're finally going to catch up. All right. My recommendation is this book called 8 Limbs. It's from Humanoids, Life Drawn by Humanoids. It's by Stephanie Phillips, and hold on, the artist is Julia Lally. I picked it up because I'm a big fan of Stephanie Phillips, the on writing. She's doing a bunch of work now with Marvel, including that she's going to do that Captain America Wolf series that we talked about earlier with the Howling Commandos. But it's really cool. It's a story of a girl who doesn't have a home, and she gets into trouble, and she runs into this family who runs like a Muay Thai gym, and it's about like how they use the sport to, deal with their problems and connect, but also about like finding a family and stuff like that. So it's a one-shot thing. It's like 128 pages. It's really cool, and it's oversized, so you get like some really cool art. You get a few, like, there's a lot of like very dynamic art, but also like just some cool stuff with Muay Thai. I think Muay Thai is one of the cooler looking martial arts. So it really works on the page. So I got a full review for it on the channel. Make sure to go check that out. But I wanted to plug it. So, all right. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, the last thing, like we've been talking about, make sure to support the writers. Make sure to support the acting guild however you can. And stay tuned on the channel. Like if anything changes with our stuff, we'll also change on the programming. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now. Salute, mi familia. Salute.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Peter loves you.
Oh, yeah. Clay?
Hell, Bebo.
Josh?
Simon Center, get the fuck out.